MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by
Your worst McNightmare.
Hey, Jesus! No, Jason, but you got the J right. You remember that from the...
What are you doing in the bathroom?
I sleep in the tub. I might counter with what you are doing in here. Anyway, we're watching Godzilla 2014 today, and I want to make sure your dumbass opinions don't kill my buzz. I printed out the appropriate response, memorize it. You say this when the movie finishes. That's you, right there. That's your part.
Damn, these Mutos are off the chain. So off the chain that I don't even know how they were ever attached to the chain to begin with. What the hell, man? What is this? You're just forcing your opinions on people to avoid contrasting viewpoints? What kind of...
Dang! These Mutos are off the chain!
He can watch with me. You can't.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
All right.
Don't touch me.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. And today is simply the greatest day in history. It took us 85 episodes, guys, but I have been begging to get the king himself on the show, and I'm not talking about Elvis or Richard Lewis. Rest in peace to that wonderful man. No, 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 no. It is the king of the monsters. Godzilla himself, and I have been begging for it, and finally today we are bringing it to you. Now, those of you who are in the know, which hopefully should be a lot of you watching this, we are in the middle right now of a Godzilla renaissance. Just last fall, we had the first ever MonsterVerse TV show drop on Apple TV, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Then, of course, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Godzilla -1 rocketed its way over from Japan. Bitch slapped all of us in the face, brought us back into monster rapture, nabbed an Oscar nomination for the first time in the 70-year history of Godzilla, released a black and white version that was just as amazing, even more cinematic. Then, coming up very soon, the 5th entry in the MonsterVerse, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, which promises to be a monster mash like never before. So today, after several failed attempts, I said, what if we bring it back to, wow, about to celebrate its 10th anniversary. Holy cow, I think it was a May release, so we are just 2 months shy of almost an exact 10-year anniversary of the movie that kicked off the MonsterVerse, 2014's simply titled Back to Basics Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards, who would go on to do Rogue One.
Congratulations.
Now, a little bit of a backstory for you guys. As you may guess by my usual, but perhaps even more amplified tone, I am the monster movie kaiju freak around here. It runs in my blood. It is the thing I like the most. Matthew over here tends to kind of piggyback on it, not really fetishizing it as much as I do, but also likes it a lot. But I remember him vehemently and consistently not liking this one. And Mateo over here, you know, sometimes I feel like we've been together for a while now, 17 years, three-headed monster, best friends, my brother from another mother. I tend to smush us all together, and I thought all of us love the Monsterverse, but a conversation with my beloved Mateo last week revealed I don't think he really cares about these Monsterverse movies. He said he really didn't like Godzilla vs. Kong, which is my Bible in friggin' monster movie form, and I don't think he remembered liking this one either. So, all that to say, I am very excited to get into it with Matthew and Mateo and Jason Ellsworth here today into G14 and see what they think about it 10 years later. No, it is not an excessive amount of dialogue because that's how excited I am to be here, and they're going to feel it.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Matthew, you over here to the left, give us that plot synopsis, and then we're going to get into your dumbass opinion, which based on those dead little silvery venomous eyes, probably going to be like, oh no bro, still thought it was blah, blah. Sorry for the F in there. Didn't mean to do that. But come on, let's get into it. We love you guys. We hope some Godzilla fans are on board. Break it down. What's G14 about, baby?
Your enthusiasm is nauseating.
A bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm just excited to be on the greatest show in the history of the internet with my two brothers who love movies more than anything in the world discussing about the thing I love most. I guess that was a crime. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Put the handcuffs on.
I do appreciate the apology. Godzilla is the story of a scientist, general scientist, Bryan Cranston,
Mr. Scientist,
who notices a thing in the pulse
in Japan.
And
Oh, he's living there when we meet him.
Yeah. So?
He doesn't notice it in Japan. He's in Japan.
He's in Japan and he notices it in Japan because he's in Japan.
It keeps getting stronger.
It's got to be centered somewhere. Adam. No one else is reporting yet. We are contacting every other plant in the Kanto region. Tokai, Fujiyama. They're unaffected.
And he works in the only Japanese lab where everybody speaks English.
Yeah. What's the first thing?
He loses his wife.
Yeah, but we don't see the monster.
No.
No.
No. This is it's just like it's almost
take
a monster-less movie.
Do you want to take it?
No, I got it. Relax. Okay.
Is his birthday?
Ken Watanabe and the lady from Shape of Water. That happens after the Bryan Cranston thing or before? That's present day.
No, Ken Watanabe has worked with him.
Yeah.
They were together at the lab.
Yeah, but then
Together.
And then there is the accident. He loses his wife.
Yes.
Because he has to make a horrible choice of saving his wife or, no, actually killing everybody.
He tells his wife, go down and check the levels because he's worried about the levels of it. So he tells her to go down and check it, therefore condemning her, similar to Peter not stopping the robber in the first Spider-Man. And it's the guy that killed Uncle Ben.
You mean every Spider-Man iteration?
Yes.
All right, so then we flash forward to the future. His son is now grown up. Bryan Cranston's son is now grown up. He's
15 years
older.
And he's in the military.
He's in the military. He's finally returning home to his wife and kid when he gets a notice or gets a call saying your dad is in jail for going to the quarantine zone. So he's got to go to Japan to get him out, I guess, to bail him out.
Yeah.
So then once he gets out, Bryan Cranston immediately wants to go back, starts ranting and raving about the fact that it wasn't a bomb or an accident, that it was something else. So they go back to the quarantine zone. They get
surprisingly easy to enter the quarantine zone.
It's just that you just gotta lift it up and crawl underneath. They get caught. They get brought to the lab. They find the first MUTO, which of course stands for
massive
unidentified terrestrial
object.
MUTO, massive unidentified terrestrial organism.
But then it flies, so it should be MATO.
Yes.
Because it's
They didn't know
massive
that
airborne.
It was the second one.
I think so.
Whatever.
No, first one.
First one had wings?
Either way.
The first one is a male.
Yeah.
And Bryan Cranston dies.
Bryan Cranston dies. He gets crushed by a crane. And then the son is trying to get back to Elizabeth Olsen the whole movie. And tries to link up with the...
I have to go back to Elizabeth Olsen.
He starts linking up with the
Well,
military.
what an adorable monkey bear.
Yeah.
Who is in San Francisco.
Who's in San Francisco. So he tries to kind of get on board with the different military operations who are kind of championing to stop this thing. Ken Watanabe is telling them that Godzilla is actually kind of a protector, keep things in balance.
Nature has an order, a power to restore balance. I believe he is that power.
So he kind of wants them just to let Godzilla handle it, but the military won't do that, so they set up a bunch of operations to lure them out to the ocean with nuclear warheads because that's what the Mutos feed on. A few different operations go awry. They finally end up in the middle of the city together.
Oh, no, because the Muto that escaped from Japan is attracted to the Muto, the female Muto, which is in...
They've been giving mating calls.
In Nevada.
They think he might be communicating to Godzilla, but they find out, yeah.
The Yucca Mountains.
Yes. And she's pregnant.
Yeah, and they level Vegas.
Yes.
Kind of like Sharknado 4.
Yes,
and they're
exactly
searching for any radiation to snack on since they feed off that.
Yes. Eventually, they get the warhead out. They're just, okay, at this point, let's just get it out to the middle of the ocean because they can't disarm it, but it was meant to explode all the Mutos, just kill them all at once. Godzilla kicks everyone's ass, and the most badass scene in history when he rips open the Muto's mouth, kind of like Kong style, and just blows his atomic breath down his throat.
Every Godzilla scene is the most badass scene in history here.
Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron are reunited, and
you mean in Age of Ultron?
Yes.
Could have been a little quicker, but.
Please, don't do this.
What choice do we have?
Anyway, Godzilla crawls back into the ocean and is hailed as king of the monsters and possibly our savior. Question mark? We're not sure.
Yes.
But he
It has destroyed half a city.
Yeah, but he kind of did it in. Well, I mean, you could make the argument for
in
Superman,
that
but
whimsical way.
Yeah, he was trying to stop the monsters.
Yes.
So
well, who else is going to stop the Mutos?
A good guy.
Everyone always wants to be snarky about that. Who's going to stop those Mutos?
Yeah.
He's not going to be able. He's that big. He's not going to be able to destroy it.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Jesus.
All right, so that's the plot synopsis. Let's get into Matthew's dumbass opinion.
I loved it.
MaJaMa.
I loved it. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah?
My only issue was no Godzilla.
Yeah. Was the same issue that you had when we left the theater.
Yeah, like you get this movie is Gareth Edwards just edging us the entire time. Here's Godzilla. Oh, cut away! Now you just see him on the screen.
I disagree.
On the TV screen, and the kids watching it. Oh, okay, Godzilla. Oh, the door's closed to the safety zone, and then you get a badass fight at the end, and he lets you come finally. But still, the whole build-up just—it's like what do I think they clocked it?
The build-up
8 minutes about Godzilla.
Is masterful
yeah, 2-hour
in the vein of Jaws.
No.
It's the classic doling it out.
No.
And
I will say, compared to Monarch, the TV show, very strong first 3 to 4 episodes, and then a kind of a lull in the middle. Still a good story, but not enough monsters or even action. This at least has action set pieces throughout, so even if you're not getting Godzilla, you're still, there's a train wreck, and there's the Mutos, and there's this disaster, and other things are happening, so as much as you...
Well, I forgot, it keeps friggin' moving, which what I thought was to its benefit is that we get in a disaster zone, and then I thought it was very much like a 9/11 thing where you're looking up and all the different, there's always destruction, something's always going on, and you always have to look around. It reminded me of some of the shots of Cloverfield, of how you're like, granted that movie with the nauseating camera.
What? Oh shit!
Oh shit! This is crazy,
But I like the fact of how you would like look up and see just like a leg go by, as if it would be if you were running through it and trying to get this
Got some chubby toes.
actual creature.
Godzilla.
Oh.
I like when you first see his chubby foot at the airport.
Yes.
Yes. See, I believe that the main thing...
You mean the attack on September 11th?
Yeah. The main thing that I remembered about this was that
kaiju? No.
Gareth Edwards, in this, in Rogue One, and in The Creator as well, which we saw not too long ago, I don't know how to describe it, but he's incredibly visually immersive. There's something about the way he shoots his movie that they look like these gorgeous moving paintings, and it really sucks me in. So therefore, and this is going to build on another point, which is that...
I don't think that's a camera, actually.
I don't think anyone else fetishizes the actual existence of kaijus as much as I do.
No more secrets.
So all of this is a masterful, artful way of slowly revealing that these beasts out here, which I don't think Godzilla has ever literally looked this good. He is amazing, realistic, terrifying, expensive looking, if you will.
I mean, after seeing Godzilla -1, that's a great Godzilla mashing up.
He looks better here.
No.
He looks better here.
I think he looks great here. I love the leathery
He looks
skin.
incredible.
I just don't like the angularity of his face and snout. And I think -1 found a nice marriage of the old school, maybe not cute, but like chubby round head, mixed with a more angular reptile like head.
So you love this movie. Your literal only complaint is the ratio?
I don't know if I'd say love, but I think it was great. I think it was really good.
I think it was great. Only complaint is the ratio?
I said really good.
Okay.
I started to say great if I stopped myself.
Just brevity for a second. Yes?
Yes.
Mateo? Okay. How? Break it down for me.
Okay. How can?
Because yes, that's my point, is that I don't understand when the Godzilla looks that great, how there's no rapture over it, which is what we were talking about on our walk last time, which is my main interesting angle to get into this, because I feel like the MonsterVerse...
Where the hell were you two walking?
I'm walking around our legs get atrophied in here, so we'll kind of just like pace back and forth in the hallway having conversations.
And stuff, yes.
We're circling like lions in a cage in the bathroom.
Because we are trapped here.
Like crawling on...
In here. We're still trapped.
It's been 3 months!
Yes.
That's not possible.
8 to 85.
That doesn't mean...
Okay. Stop.
That was just a bunch of bull.
He's going to talk.
Can I?
He's going to
talk.
talk.
Or do you want to answer?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, first thing first, and something occurred to me when you mentioned the other two movies of the director. I don't go to Monsters, which was masterful, but Godzilla, Rogue One, and The Creator, they have one common thread. They're extremely cold. There is no empathy whatsoever for any characters. And it's just like, you remember that I told you with Creator, I say this is a great looking movie. But it has absolutely no warmth in terms of
Hard
characters.
to invest in it.
Yes. And this one is the same one. I mean, we had Ford, who is...
Ford! Sorry, someone should have said that earlier.
Oh.
I couldn't think.
He is kind of like, it's a mozzarella. He has absolutely nothing. It's kind of with his Garrett Edlund in Tron Legacy, whatever his name is. Another blah, or the Avatar, Sam
Worthington,
yes.
But I think
another blah.
I think he works very well as an everyman to give us a face to...
You should see his abs in the Kraven trailer.
They are pretty crazy.
You should see his abs in the Kraven trailer.
I'll make a note of that.
Please.
But anyways, beside that, It's not like Jaws, because Jaws starts with an attack of the shark. You don't see the shark, you feel the shark, and you know that it's there. And it keeps on giving you elements that the shark is there.
We treat it the same way here.
No.
There's constant rumblings and explosions
There
and
are
stuff
rumblings,
happening.
but nothing happens, and then there are mutos, so call the movie mutos.
I have to see this.
And
The mutos look amazing.
I know, still, if I'm gonna see Godzilla, I can't wait an hour to see Godzilla. Godzilla -1, it starts with Godzilla. It starts with Godzilla.
It starts with a couple minutes of Godzilla.
It starts with one thing.
With one thing, Godzilla.
You don't know why. It doesn't
Sorry,
even...
it's past.
Thank you. And then Godzilla -1, it gives you compelling characters and a great story that is very solid throughout. And you genuinely care for those people.
I knew it.
Despite them being Japanese.
Yes. This one lures you in with Bryan Cranston, then kills him immediately to switch with Black Kid.
Cranston always gets you.
Yes, and then it's just like, yes, you get it's exhausting to get to the end, and then you have 5 great minutes.
Well, I completely, like, it's such a wonderful layered thing of, like, the destruction happens and we keep going and there's always a muto, or you could, like you said, you always feel the presence. And I think Godzilla -1 has 4 scenes. We get the first one quick, but then there's a breath and there's a lot in between them. And Jaws also has to wait a long time to see them. So I think it is a similar doling out. I think...
But Jaws gives you interesting characters. This one doesn't.
There's nothing.
I agree at the end of the creator that the scene between John David Washington and the little girl didn't bring tears. I understand what you're saying. Rogue One.
Thank you.
I think I think in certain elements the coldness that you say adds to it. Here I believe Aaron Taylor works as, I remember Gareth saying I wanted someone you could look at and just grasp he was in the military.
How long you been away? 14 months. Take it slow. It's the one thing they don't train you for. All right, let's go.
I think he works very well as an everyman that's going to give us just a face to latch onto with you otherwise see the military movement move forward. But I really am shocked at how much the visual style here looks like these absolutely breathtaking, gorgeous paintings that move. And there's lots of shots that are just utterly salivating. And that's why I say what I start to wonder about with these monster movies, and particularly the MonsterVerse, because before -1, this is the pinnacle of modern CGI since everything previous to this. I think the last one is 98, which at this point probably looks a little dated. And anything before that, I believe we're in the rubber suit era. So,
no, well, there have been some Japanese movies. In fact, there is a Japanese Godzilla made very quickly after the 1998 Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla 2000.
Yeah, where they call it Zilla, and
Final Wars, he fights the
kills
new Godzilla. But this is...
yeah.
But all the MonsterVerses are the most up to this date that we've gotten with actual mega-budget Hollywood CGI. So...
We now return to
MaJaMa.
The main effect of this for me, which is why I kept wanting to return to this on Jams, is that he looks so good, so real, so convincing, so drool-worthy, so detailed, so monstrous, so beast-like, in addition to the artistic shots, and like the one where the smoke just comes and the silhouette goes there, that like the difference here must be the fact that it's not porn to you guys.
Whoa,
You're
whoa,
like,
whoa.
well, I'm here to the movie.
I love porn.
But I don't think it's porn to you guys because you're just delving into these other things as opposed to being in awe of the way the Beast was presented. Like that first shot where we follow the red stuff and it just revealed. Like you should be wrapped with the fact that it's actually existing.
This has to stop.
Now, I remember that one of the complaints that people, when they talk about Pacific Rim Uprising as opposed to the first one, because we switched directors from the god Guillermo del Toro, is that Guillermo really knows how to imbue his beast with a sense of majesty.
Torque. Engage.
A lot of the best kaiju scenes happen when you have certain camera angles and you find a way to show the height. So similarly, I feel here with the way Gareth shoots, everything about it is majestic. That's why apparently you don't like the Mutos, but the Mutos look just as kick-ass if you love monsters, like some giant thing. Like there's scenes in the Bryan Cranston facility where we first show them that the way it's lit just reminds me of classic Toho, and the way that pit looks and the scientists and the way they come out, the way they're against the fog, the way that the light comes down in Hawaii and slowly pans up to him.
Why don't you have as much of a problem of this, the dark and the smoke shots that you do with King of the Monsters?
Now, that's a great point, because this is a layered conversation.
I was kind of hoping for a one-word answer.
This is a layered conversation.
You walk into that.
Because King of the Monsters is, I think, mostly a very fan-loved one, because the fans see the direct throwback to, we have Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Godzilla, all the classic names. I think they brought back the classic theme. Most fans that I talk to love that, and I don't, because, and now here's the other part of it, MonsterVerse on Rotten Tomatoes, this one 76%, Kong, Skull Island 75%, Godzilla vs. Kong 76%, King of the Monsters tumbles down to like a 44%. So I know there's something there, regardless of how people think about taking Rotten Tomatoes seriously. So there's some consistency with positive reviews in all three of them, except King of the Monsters, which I find interesting, because I found in that one, Mateo, I really truly could not connect to the people, not even in a way of what the characters were, but in a way that a badly done movie doesn't let you attach to whoever your protagonist may be.
I knew it.
However, anytime I'm in nerd conversations online, I feel like there's a ton of love for that. This one, I think they kind of echo your guys' sentiments, even though some people really love the more serious approach to it. And then, surprisingly, my highest ever, Godzilla vs. Kong, I feel like a lot of fans don't like. So, that is, when I go on this rant here about the MonsterVerse, you do have to bring up King of the Monsters, since it is my anomaly, and I think most people, you included, would be like, dude, you get so many monsters, you get so much this, but I think that Gareth found, and I wish we could have watched this in prep for this also, but there's only so much time in a day, even being locked in here, but I think Gareth found a way to have smoke obscure that, like, when his silhouette comes from behind the smoke, I literally, I like, to do that. There's a physical reaction.
This physical reaction.
Whereas King of the Monsters seems to literally obstruct the one thing I came for. But that is a good discussion because, like I said, most people I've talked to, they geek out over King of the Monsters and they almost dismiss the other ones. But that's the thing.
One of my favorite trailers for this was the teaser, I think, where all the commandos are jumping out of the ship with the red smoke.
Well, like, let's zero in on shots then. We have that shot where they're jumping out of the plane, trailed by red, and they're falling down through clouds into the stratosphere, like getting to the point where you recognize it's Earth, and they're going by and catching glimpses of him as he flies by. Is that not, if any part of you loves monster movies and wants to come to see the magic of these beasts come to life, is that not enthralling?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Is it not?
Yes, I just told you it was.
Yeah, but is it not?
Yeah, if then you follow with actually the monster and not close the doors as soon as it starts moving.
It's kind of like two dick movies
It's
back
a
to
bit
back.
frustrating.
Well,
I had the same feeling in certain scenes of that train wreck that is Fantastic Four by Josh Trank, that a huge chunk of action is seen through monitors. And
I don't even remember it. I
well,
think I've seen
exactly.
it. Yeah,
and so
I think I've seen it in pieces.
Action that actually was in the trailer In the movie, they wind up in a monitor, and when Thing is destroying tanks and stuff like that and everything.
You saw Monsters, which is Gareth's, I believe, debut, which is how
Yes.
he got this job.
Yes.
Isn't there a bunch of... In fact, I remember thinking, strangely enough, I think I've never finished that damn thing, but I've seen the beginning a bunch of times. I watched about half. But is there not a bunch of similar artistic shots or screens of the way they're hidden with the thing?
Yes, but that
is not the main focus.
It's budgetary, probably.
And also you say, okay, this is a very charming and clever movie because he made look, I think it was $750,000. So I don't remember the budget of that one, but he made it look like $140 million. This one he had $140 million, and it shows 90% destructions and 10% monsters.
What?
And I'm disappointed. Disappointed!
Disappointed! Disappointed!
Disappointed! Disappointed!
Well, you guys know how I feel about it, and this time I couldn't believe how well
I'm
it
not
was
too clear how
paced,
you
and I thought the mutos and just the scenes, I literally believe, and this is why I wanted to do this episode and argue with you guys, I feel like this is a perfect pace of an artistic reveal, and I will completely go to bat for it being the Jaws theory.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I mean, that's fine, but once you reveal him, let him breathe, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we get a lot of actual scenes because, again, he looks so good that the scenes we do see where the beasts are sweeping around and going are just completely... For instance, another of my weird-ass abilities to remember Rotten Tomatoes quips from like 10 years ago says Gareth gets the money shots right.
I knew it.
Like every shot that's supposed to be the money shot of the big guy, he gets so incredibly right. So let me say again, if you guys compartmentalize for a second the sparsity of it, compartmentalize that. Okay, we know you're like, damn, why didn't you dole it out more? Are you like, holy crap about the scenes we do get? Can you agree with me on that?
If you take all the Godzilla?
Just when the big guy is on screen.
Yeah, I think he looks great. Yeah.
But like amazing, because I feel like the monster and again.
Dude, you're always looking for an echo chamber of enthusiasm.
And then when we tell you something, you just say no.
And then we agree with you. We're like, no, I want you to scream yes. You can't just say yes.
Jesus, it's worse than we thought.
This movie is the equivalent of you go to a restaurant, the waiter arrives with a wonderful cart filled with cakes and takes it away. And then as soon as you're trying to, it takes it away again.
Well, what about
ma'am?
Exactly.
What about the creativity of the shot where, especially someone like you grew up with plastic dinosaurs, where the kid's watching it on the TV with plastic dinosaurs in front, and the mom's like...
That's very original. A Godzilla movie with a kid who likes dinosaurs.
No.
Yay.
I'm saying the actual shot of on the screen with the dinosaurs in front, and this, it's artistic ways. I know you guys think it's like cock blocking, but I feel like everything is done artistically.
It's definitely cock blocking, but...
He goes underneath the ship and you see just the body running underneath it.
I mean, I get it, but if you
see the muto
if you get cock block, you're not going to be like, oh, that was a creative way to cock block me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Exactly. It's just like...
Well, I don't have any of that effect.
Okay. We know.
So it's just interesting, and we should also say...
Not really, but, you know...
We should also say
I
that...
personally feel attacked.
Yeah.
You should. I did the show to attack you for your dumbass opinion. So I do adore Godzilla -1. If I happen to flip-flop back and forth, it's only because I feel like some people end up using -1 to negate other ones. But I am 10,000% in for -1.
In this kind of series, I think it's idiotic to do that with any film. Because the same thing with Batman. You can have Batman in so many different genres, or not genres, so many different
versions,
tones and iterations and styles. 66, dark, gritty, funny, comic-y. You can do him so many different ways, and he works on all those different forms.
In fact, that's a flawless.
Let alone mediums.
It's a flawless.
So I don't think you can ever be like, oh, Batman should be one way. Like, no.
Because look at Christopher Nolan versus Adam West, and it's the same thing here. Especially now, I've been reading a nice hardcover Godzilla coffee table book that goes into every single one, and like, yeah. The 54 is a certain thing of atomic terror allegory that -1 brought back. But then there is a long track of gorgeous, beautiful, over-the-top, goofy, some family-friendly, wacky, completely nonsensical, Power Rangers-esque. Ranging from themes to other things. Like Godzilla is, as you said, with Batman, across the board, can be a myriad of things.
Well, at least they show Godzilla.
I don't think you guys are really harping on that. I felt that it was actually perfectly
if
done.
you go see a movie called Godzilla, and then every time you show me Godzilla, you close the door, you cut away.
It would be one thing. I'd be interested to see if they did a lead up to Godzilla, and then once you see Godzilla, he's in the movie. But the fact that you do his reveal, cut away, do another reveal, and then cut away.
But it's handled so well.
It's handled. It looks good when you see him.
For example,
but you're literally cutting away as opposed to
For example, what I find interesting about this, now if you say it's not done artistically, then that's one thing, but I suppose to parallel this argument, the thing that has made Mateo disgusted more than anything is when his nephew said, hey, we skipped to the scary parts of The Exorcist.
You should have drowned him in the bathtub right there.
And
I tried.
And I also
fought
think
back.
There was a drought.
Newer kids watching Jaws would be like, holy crap, Jaws is in here for like 20 minutes out of 2 hours.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
Now what your response would be like is, oh, the characters. I wouldn't be surprised if younger kids would be like, who cares about the characters? We're spending time with these three guys on the boat. So I do stick to the Jaws doling out of this, or The Exorcist, because those are masterful movies where if you cut down Reagan's scenes of actual crucifix pumping and blood spurting, it would probably be such a tiny fraction, as with Jaws, over it's like, what, 2 hour plus runtime? So if you don't think it's handled well, then it's like, I don't think he didn't guide me with his hands properly, but otherwise I completely see the parallel to the ratio, because you guys are really hammering the ratio
Exorcist obviously is a horror, or it definitely has a horror. If you have to put into a genre, it's a horror. And Jaws has that scary element to it, where it is kind of building a vibe and a tone throughout the film.
That's what I think this
build up to it. But this is not that where it's like, oh, I'm scared of these monsters. It's a different kind of story and film than those two, where you might have a little bit more, like when Jaws, why don't you try coming down and chumming some of this shit, and Jaws jumps out, that's a scary moment, and there's general
that's what I'm saying. I feel like
elements in Jaws
put
versus
terror
this.
with the way that he presents these massive beasts. So at one point I'm like, oh my god, like
Godzilla -1 does that.
Scenes where the things are underneath.
I don't think it has that effect.
There was no sense of awe whatsoever when the Mutos are coming out and everything. It was nice to see Godzilla, but nothing. I really felt nothing.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Striker, there's civilians on the bridge! Hold your fire! Open fire!
I just can't relate because
I'm
they look so good.
Well, it looks good. I don't deny that, but I really was lacking this sense of majestic awe or terror or anything in between.
So what do you feel when he's on screen then?
I'm sorry?
What do you feel when he is on screen?
Well, for those 3 seconds that appears for the first 6th, 7th of the movies, okay.
This is also the fact you wait so long, and the second you see him, it cuts.
No, this is the main thing, because there's so many movies that you guys love that are like this. So there's something else going on where you must not just not like
if a movie doesn't offer you enough of the creature, it has to supply you with a story that is compelling and with character that you can latch on, and that you're empathetic and you're suffering with them or you're enthusiastic with them and everything.
So this is why I say
absolutely nothing.
You guys don't like this movie. That's why you got on me. I'm saying you don't like it because otherwise you'd be like, wow, it's a great artistic way of doling it out. I was with it every second, and once it picks up,
we noticed.
It moves. It just keeps moving, and you have those shots where they're craning up, and it feels like we're in 9/11 but with a beast, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so real.
Let's not compare Godzilla 2014 to 9/11. Let's have some lines to draw here.
Yes, or to Jaws.
I don't think it's Majesty looking at the Twin Towers falling down on you.
No.
But that's my whole angle for doing G14 on the show is because you'll say you don't hate it, but I feel like both of you guys are so clawed into the ratio.
I say that my judgment was
Yeah, I think
I say from the beginning. I didn't say.
Okay, so that's true. You are trying to say that you did. You're like, I thought it was great. You don't, because this is the ratio.
I can love something and pick it apart.
What about Alien? Why don't you pull up the actual stop clock of how much time the Xenomorph is on screen?
Okay, this is a different thing.
No, well, again, horror elements to that film.
Yes, at least first of all, you love all of those 7 characters, and then you know that they are trapped, and it doesn't matter how long the alien is on the screen. Played by Bolaya Badejo, by the way.
Wow, you just flawlessly pronounced that. I tried to say how flawlessly you pronounced it.
We have to shut down.
Oh, man.
And so you know that danger is beyond every corner. And even if something doesn't happen, you're still with them because you feel the sense of entrapment. The same with Jaws. You know that there is a shark. Every time you see the ocean, it could be there. So there is this latent tension throughout the movie.
That's how I felt about this?
Not at all.
Always there. There's always a rumble. There's always something in the distance, and the way it's shot is very like, oh, we caught a glimpse over there. Well, if you were walking through the streets while this was happening, you wouldn't be able to just see him constantly. You'd be like, I caught a tail. He went behind a building. And that's why it makes me feel like I'm there and I'm like, oh my God, he's out there. So now we're with these army men, but he is out there. So I'm like, oh, we caught a glimpse of him. Oh, but what would you do if he was real? You wouldn't be like, I didn't get to see him walk by Sherman Oaks. All I caught was, if you caught this much of his tail, you'd be like, oh, I caught it on a cell phone video. We're analyzing it. So it puts me in reality.
You can't compare a real-life experience of this to a film.
You can't compare what?
A real life experience of
that's what it makes me feel like.
Monster.
I'm happy
that's
for you.
Cool, but
okay, he's already said he really doesn't like it. You need to admit you didn't like it either.
I liked it.
No, he didn't.
How are you going to tell me what I feel inside?
See,
you ask question and then you're not satisfied with the answer.
Because you're basically what do you like about it then?
Please don't do this.
What, the apparent 3 seconds Godzilla's on? He's not that cool?
Like I said, as opposed to Monarch, which I felt a really, really lull in the middle of the season, where you really just have a lot of story.
1 season or 2 seasons?
1 season so far.
I think renewed.
And a great story, at least with the brother and sister element, but there's just this lull, this long track of time where nothing is happening. With here, you do have action set pieces throughout the film. Enough to tantalize the adventure cravings.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
So you halfway admit what I'm saying.
What do you want me to say? I'll say it. What do you want me to say?
You say there's more action throughout.
Yes.
Perhaps not.
Yeah. So I'm saying something to latch onto.
I really honestly felt this time like it moved. Like it kicked off, and even if we didn't see the guys, it was like everyone was, you always felt the constant sense of they're on the move, next city, we gotta run.
So much of a build-up with thinking Cranston's going to be your main character, at least maybe the first time you saw it because of the trailer. And I think if you had that a little bit toned down, or you just do the flashback, I mean, he is killed off pretty quickly, but it almost skews it because he's the guy who knows what's happening and he's killed off, and then his son is pretty much clueless. He's just enlisted in the army, so he gets to kind of jump on board with these guys going on these deployments to stop the monster. He kind of gets caught up with it.
I'm afraid we need your help.
you can see it's kind of a cool two different sides of the coin, him and his father. But I think the fact that you have the idea man and the guy who cracked the case killed off in 30 minutes, and you expect him to be your main character, it kind of skews the rest of the film.
It's
and Elizabeth
like,
Olsen and him are cute together, but there's nothing really...
She has nothing to do.
Yeah.
And she's just like looking and that's it. The death of Bryan Cranston reminds me, I mean, the character rather than the expert in World War Z, who is the expert who knows everything about diseases and stuff like that. Then he kills himself because he sleeps on the platform of the plane. And you say, oh that's good.
I don't remember that.
So,
well, if we literally watched this on mute, and I pulled up a couple scenes.
On mute?
On Muto, nice. You guys understand, and again, let's push it all aside. You understand what I'm saying about the visual they achieved? It looks like
we get it.
It looks like there's a gorgeous painting.
You're trying to carve this up to
yes, we'll never agree.
Hypothetically carve this movie into something that is going to be ideal for us, what we want.
No. I'm zeroing in on saying, okay, you hate
keep
the characters,
suggesting
you hate
new
that,
ways
but
to
I'm
view
saying,
it or look at it or think of it or edit it for us to enjoy it, see it the way you see it.
If I pull up just the final fire breath scene as just that, and I show that to you...
I mean, the movie's worth it just for that 5 seconds.
Of course, yes.
But you get in that how breathtaking the VFX are in that moment.
It is breathtaking.
You genuine?
It takes forever to get there, but yes.
No, okay, we that's why we get it, but I'm saying they look incredible. The
Your
VFX
face
here
looks
is like a
like
cauliflower.
Bob has a beautiful face like a flower. Yeah, cauliflower. No offense, but your face looks like a cauliflower.
We went to see this at Grauman's Chinese Theater. No?
No.
You're thinking of Cloverfield.
We watched this one here.
El Capitan?
At the Galleria.
Then it was with Mom. Was the first time with Mom, second time with Mateo?
Godzilla with Mom? No, we saw it
Godzilla minus
opening
Mom?
night together.
Capitan?
Doesn't matter. What's your point?
Because we saw this at well, I think the Capitan.
Okay, we saw it at El Capitan. So?
And I just remember I
Don't they
could
only play
not
Disney films?
believe what was unfurling before my eyes. It was just insane when I first saw this. It was just the most craziest friggin' thing ever, the way that this guy looked real on screen.
I mean, I'm not debating that, man. I ain't disputing it. I'm saying I love how he looks. He looks awesome. The fight scenes we get are really dope. I just wish we had more Godzilla and
less story.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Because if you're not going to really give us... I mean, because there's a story there, but focus on the Monarch characters then. You know? Don't really focus on Aaron and Elizabeth
much
so
more
much.
interesting. It's at least you have somebody like Ken Watanabe and
the Deaf Lady.
David Stratton.
She's a woman.
Yeah, no, and
that's the general.
Yes.
Yeah. Cat's out of the bag, Doctor. No more secrets.
I mean, because that's what most of these monster movies are.
Yeah.
Just boardrooms talking about how to stop the monster.
Yeah.
So I think we've all...
It's like Supercroc.
Yeah.
Also, I think
so there's an broom closet with a black sheet hung on the wall.
3 days ago, it was 2132 in the Pacific Ocean. The quake was determined at 235 miles below the surface.
Saying there's a relation to that?
Sir, the mouse is located here.
The marking out the part of the credits I actually think is used in most of our credits, but I didn't realize.
Well, that's cool because you have Monarch as the through line throughout all these.
Yes, I didn't realize, like Mateo said, there's actually jokes. Like it said, like costumes, which we actually know are guys in rubber suits, or something like that, and then it blacks it out. I didn't realize that, which I thought was very cool.
I think that there is a reference to Breaking Bad when Bryan Cranston's name appeared.
You didn't catch the Mothra thing? So similar to our credits, I believe what it is there's something that's taped over, which the letters from the thing that was taped over says RA, and then it says Moth, like in a thing. And so the thing together says Mothra, which I didn't notice before.
Oh, when you put them together.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's worse than we thought.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
How about the jiggling baby sack when the Muto walks over?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And then the cute little, they touch noses and make that sound.
Yeah.
I like the Mutos as a must. See, to me, I didn't think that when the Mutos were on, I was excited as I was about Godzilla, which is why I'm like, does it have to be the big guy for you guys? You can't just get geeked when the monsters popped out?
No.
Well, here is what I told my friend Mateo on our walk the other day, which is what, because I was like, listen, man, you can't just keep spitting venomous fanboy anger. You have to try and articulate it why you're like offended that people don't lose their minds over these movies. It's because...
Wait, are you talking to yourself? To Mateo?
I mean, it was kind of the same thing. He probably just zones out and he's next to me and just like keeps going. But I said, picture if we got to meet Jesus. Now, this is going to be a very hyperbolic example. It's going to sound very comedic.
Let's bring him out.
But for the moment, just go with it, right? We meet Jesus, and Mateo, as a believer, cannot actually grasp what's happening, that the Savior's in front of him. And he's got tears in his eyes, and it's like, oh my God, I actually got to see Jesus. And then I am like... Yeah, but don't you think it took a while for Jesus to walk up? Like, why? Also, why did he have that robe? Wasn't that a weird color robe for Jesus to have?
Those Birkenstocks.
And then he's like, dude, what are you talking about? I just saw Jesus. That is monster movies to me when they work.
Oh my God.
I'm so enraptured anytime, whether it's one of the two Pacific Rims or the Monster Verses or the old one or Rampage, which Rampage I think is a great example of the mediocrity elevated by the on-pointness of the monster action.
I mean, you're really making us out to not like monster movies.
That was my
based
point.
Based off this one Godzilla film.
Well, again,
I like monster movies.
But I feel like my drool over them
just because you express your feelings outwardly and loudly does not make them more valid or prominent than someone else.
Zero in an example I'm saying. There's no sense of awe to the point where you guys literally walk out and you have to catch yourself before you start critiquing
no sense of
it.
Awe.
You have to
there's
catch
a sense of awe.
You can't
there's
critique.
Plenty of awe.
You literally can't critique it when you walk out because you're in tears. Then you come down and then maybe you think about it. But I'm saying this, and yes, I know it sounds the usual comedic beat over the head. My point is that...
I mean, I felt that way with GVK.
Thank you.
Like
someone else did.
Yes, but I'm saying
someone
like when Kong and Godzilla both grab an arm of Megagodzilla and start messing him up.
I was kicking the seat in front of me.
But this
the guy was annoyed.
This doesn't necessarily have that.
You got the back of my head.
It's just long and kind of stark.
I got it with Shin Godzilla. I got it with Godzilla -1.
Godzilla?
I didn't get anything also from Godzilla 98.
I watched it recently.
But it's a guilty pleasure, I have to say. If it's on TV, I cannot turn it off because it's something that it is so wrong. But for instance, at least one thing that I appreciated about this one is that they tried to make it. It's probably more towards a metaphor for global warming than nuclear. The original Godzilla was born because it was still an iffy time to make movies about actually Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the bombs, and so they were saying, okay, how can we tell that story, but not?
Very Rod Serling-esque.
Yeah.
How do I speak on
Yes.
racism and prejudice in the 1950s
Exactly.
and TV?
Exactly.
It's aliens they're prejudiced against.
So they did that. And this one is restoring the balance. Is a line that it goes through. Well, it's not in Kong Skull Island, but because it's Godzilla who is restoring the balance. Kong is just like there. Godzilla 98, it was just like the stupid lizard doing nothing and just like going around and
it's hopping.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because at first when it appears, there's just like all this sense of. And then after a while, it learns how to tiptoe because it never actually moves anything anywhere.
Of all the years of my friendship with Mateo, I don't think anything is funnier and more destroying of a movie than that. Where, I mean, I'm sure a lot of big creature movies do, but just the fact that those first footsteps rumble everything, and then the rest of the movie we don't, not once do it. It would be like,
because a lot of it is him.
So we've got to. I can't hear you over the.
Them trying to track him in the city.
Yes, and they lose it.
Yeah, which you don't get. I mean, it's in monster movies, but for the most part, you see him once he's there.
In this movie, I also like very much the fact, oh my God, my dad is crushed to death, and only this oxygen is keeping him alive. Let me remove the mask to talk to him. So Ford killed his dad.
Oh.
This is my theory in this movie. Oh. He intentionally killed his dad, and then he had the fastest motorboat ever to bring
to Elizabeth Olsen?
A nuclear bomb.
Oh, thank God!
It made about 200 miles in 5 minutes before the explosion of the bomb.
Oh yeah, that's what I was wondering if what he was actually going to do. But I forgot they kind of just let it go out to sea.
Yeah, and that was also incredibly stupid.
Well, what beyond the?
But I think there was only one warhead left, which I think was the thing, because they're saying how they had like 5 or 6 on the train that they ate, so it was only one at that point. So
and also, it's funny that they established that he is able to disassemble and he doesn't do it.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I kept thinking they're like, okay, they'll finally pry it open and he'll get to do it, but
and nope.
I mean, it's like MacGyver. You work with the plan you got,
Sure.
and you figure out another way.
I'm just warning you, it's a mess. Just a total mess.
Well, I feel that this is a great example of, like I said, you guys could say what your pinnacle of magic of cinema is when you are really with it, but eventually I realized that, and I don't know if this is just, I watched King Kong vs. Godzilla 62 incessantly as a kid, and it literally molded me, sculpted me.
Watched it incessantly as a kid.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. What I was going to say is that there is nothing to me that illuminates the magic of believing. For instance, let's think of that classic Superman tagline, "You'll believe a man can fly." The tagline for this could be,
I didn't believe it was a movie.
"You will believe a kaiju is real." There is nothing more enthralling to me, and Mateo sat next to me in a bunch of them, Pacific Rim, that we've watched together.
He's doing it right now?
Did it today. It always makes me lose my mind when I can see a kaiju and believe it, whether it's the rubber suit or granted, I am a little more of a sucker for the modern CGI because I feel like it's more of a belief, but it really makes me lose my mind, and I find that when people put down a kaiju flick from Uprising to whatever it may be, I'm always like, but aren't you guys losing your ish over believing? No. And so G14 was
My
one.
answer to that is yes, when he's on screen.
Yeah.
But again, that's like being like, well, I shook Jesus' hand, then he left, and then I'm like, if you come back, I'll be like, holy crap, the Son of God. But, dude, I shook your hand, you left.
Those are not comparable.
Catch the metaphor, baby. Catch it in your hand.
Those are not comparable.
I bring this up to say I think this is probably one of the best examples of you'll believe a man can fly. Been about 10 years maybe. I think we did see it more than just in the theater, but it's been a chunk, and it actually delivered home for me again today. You'll believe a kaiju was real.
Really? We didn't know this.
And to me, that papers over. I don't think there's much wrong with it, but to me, that effect papers over anything. So again, my angle, albeit, playing for the beat people over the head with the bat, I usually do. That's my angle. Is that it's very difficult to not be rapturous in these type of movies when they make me believe the big guys on screen. And I literally don't know if he's ever looked better. Except when we get those direct sunlight shots in GVK. And then it's just all bones out and everything on the deck.
Okay.
Yeah?
I mean, I think, well, -1 is new, but that's pretty much the gold standard for me for how Godzilla looks. It just looks so good. And
of all time?
Such a blend of
every single one.
I mean, it's hard not to go with the 60s, 70s Godzilla.
I'm still going with the first Godzilla, 54. That is still my Godzilla.
Yeah, but
Hashtag not my Godzilla.
I feel like that's kind of like a classical mindset of me being like, hey man, I'm sorry, I just can't not love 90s rap. Like I'm always going to say 90s rap is the best. Because you believe, but it's a different way. I feel like this gets closer to like actual having documentary footage, especially as Monarch, as sparse as they were. If they did it for budgetary, every time he was on screen was like, oh my God, you look real and detailed. Of course, it looks very lizardy and leathery.
Yeah. This is a pattern.
Let's express our feelings by throwing pieces of paper. We're going to start with Matthew the Idiot, who's going to have to come up with a way to express with balls of paper his dumbass opinion on this movie.
Say a 3. It's good. Could be better, and we definitely need more Godzilla.
Wow, just really harping that home.
I don't
Will
understand.
Not let it go like a puppy with a neck.
I don't understand how you can't.
Puppy just biting a neck.
Feel that way.
I just spent an entire episode telling you how they did such a good job as masterfully.
You can't understand us. I can't understand you.
3.5.
Nothing from Jason. This is a Jaws-esque masterpiece, and I've never believed in the big guy more, and I actually found the pacing to be perfect this time. I felt Aaron Taylor Johnson was a good military everyman to give a face to it. The action moves quick. Everything is a living painting.
You already say all of this.
Well, you know what? This show is based on talking, so I could have just said I liked it, but then, you know, there's nothing there.
There's nothing.
MaJaMa.
So guys, there's nothing. If I'm correct, this is premiering on the day that the new GXK comes out. I hope you and yours are going to see it. I've never been as excited about a movie in my life. Talk about ratios. I swear to God, we're going to have up to 8 minutes of just the monsters doing their thing. If either of you walk out of this saying something like this when they're going to give you this much monster stuff, I will literally not allow you to have a bad opinion.
Why are you talking to me like this? This is the one film I have a negative opinion about.
Okay, so the rest of them are.
It's pretty much just the screen time.
Guys, thanks for being with Jason's Passion Hour. Next time we're going to let Matthew do my 6,000-pound life so he can annoy us with passion. And then Mateo's going to do Golden Finger to have his passionate thing that is flawless on the screen.
Goldfinger?
We really love you guys. And I know who enjoyed watching this was our beloved Paulo, who also loves Godzilla. So much love to Paulo for watching this. And Mom, and any Godzilla fan out there, I love you. Thanks for sticking around with MaJaMa. I hope you're going to see the new Empire, and we will be back next week with more of the three fellas hashing it up with our movie opinions.
I sleep now.
SS Wilson.
MaJaMa.
On green, I'm going for it.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No.